With Republican Congressman from Tennessee, Mark Green, member of the House Oversight Committee, Homeland Security Committee, former Army Ranger and ER doctor. Good to see you, sir, as always. Let's start with that bill. You voted no on it. Why?
Yeah. I voted no on it because they got us a bill about 15 minutes before we passed it. And now we realize there's tons of questions and problems, so they're going to have to vote again this week and make some changes. So I just don't agree with the principle of dropping a 100-page bill and voting on it when the members can't even read the bill.
The argument on the other side would be desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah, but the Senate isn't even in. And we knew the Senate isn't in till Monday. So we passed a bill after midnight with a full, 24, 48 hours before the Senate even looks at the bill. We had plenty of time to wait.
You go through the three things that this bill does. It talks about sick time. It talks about testing. It talks about providing food and financial assistance to low-income and underprivileged kids. All three of those things, though, are probably going to become law, right?
Well, and then, yes, all of that's going to be passed. The Senate's going to pass a big part of this. And there's a lot of good things in this bill. Testing, we're making the testing, free, essentially. That's a good thing. The nutritional assistance, those children who would be getting free lunch at school, they're not going to school, so they've got it. So those are good things. The bad parts of this bill are, the sick leave stuff really targets the cash flow of small businesses. So you can tell people who wrote the bill probably never ran a business before.
The argument on the other side, at least from the administration, is that the government, otherwise known as us, are going to somehow finance all those small businesses offering sick leave.
So the tax credit that's in the bill, helps your cash flow later. But when you've got a person that you're adding an additional 2 weeks of paid sick leave to, 2 weeks you already offer, plus 2/3 of their paycheck for 3 months after they've had the virus, I mean, that's a tough hit for a small business to take.
Interesting point. Conservatives love to quote Ronald Reagan, who say the most dangerous words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. On the other hand, at times like this, the only place that we can all turn for help is the government. Is it ready, or are you all too divided on politics to come together?
No, I think we get to a good place. In the Senate, they're going to pass a bill. They're going to pass part of this. We're fixing it this week. And so we're going to take action.
Yeah, but if you listen to Secretary Mnuchin, though, he says this is just the second inning. We're talking about huge more spending bills to come, things that'll make this look like a drop in the bucket, okay? I mean, we're talking about, payroll tax deductions. We're talking about even ending the payroll tax, big tax credits, perhaps even a stimulus. $1 trillion here, $1 trillion there, we're going to start talking about real money.
Yeah, they're going to do a third supplemental. There's no doubt. They're already talking about it on Capitol Hill, helping businesses like the airline industry, cruise lines. So that's coming. That's coming.
And?
Well, it's going to be a lot of money. I mean, but the unfortunate thing is we haven't even spent the money that we've already, agreed to. $8.3 billion in stimulus, or in the supplemental one. $50 billion that was released from the emergency declaration, and we're already voting on another, rough guesses on this last one, but
you're in a unique
tens of
position.
billions.
You're on the Homeland Security Committee. You're a former physician. You also were in the Army as a physician and as a ranger. Are you confident in our medical system right now that it can handle what is going to undoubtedly be an influx of patients?
It's really hard to know because we don't know how flat we can make the curve. Because we don't want, the curve that everybody's talking about, it pushing us past our medical tipping point, our medical capacity tipping point. But I think we can. I believe we can. Clearly in the military there are resources we can tap into. There's lots of places where we can go. The real issue is the number of ventilators. And as long as we can keep flattening the curve with the precautions that the president started it all with his travel ban in China. So if we can continue to flatten that curve, we'll be okay.
All right, Congressman, Doctor, we appreciate your time, sir. You're heading back to Nashville for a week on the farm, and we'll be calling on your expertise.
Thanks. Thank you.
Good to see you, sir.